Hello, I'm just going to take a second here to show you what we've been working on over at Syntasso to collaborate even better with the UI provided by Port. This portal is a great way to be able to provide your app developers an interface that gives them what they need to manage their environments and their tools. And what we're doing at Syntasso is helping allow for the platform engineers to manage and update that UI directly from their platform APIs. So we've got here on the left a Port UI that's empty as of now. It has an empty home screen. It has no self-service actions. The catalog's all just default things, and it doesn't have a set of data models set up yet. The data models are really powerful in Port, and you can create these through their API or UI by creating new blueprints. But they also provide this concept of data sources that allow you to import from third parties information into your portal. This gives you the ability to visualize pretty much anything in your environment. Today, we're going to look at the Kubernetes data source, and Port provides a Helm chart that allows you to install an exporter that lets you define what from your cluster will be visible in the portal UI, since you may not want everything there and you need to tell it what to send. This is really easy to install using their Helm chart. It allows you to configure things, not just what you can see, but even configure what CRDs should be made into full-blown blueprints in Port, and therefore have self-services actions associated with them. And so at Syntasso, what we've done is we've created a controller that leverages this exporter and helps you configure it in a more automated way. Because in my experience, when you install this exporter, there's still a lot of configuration you're going to want to do, like exactly how those self-service actions are managed, what their backends are, and otherwise. So to get started, what we have is just a cluster with Kratix and the Port controller that we've created running in it. And in this cluster, we don't have any promises, which are the Kratix API generating resources here. But if we were to install one, so apply, like for example, a Redis promise, if we go back to watching the pods here, we can see that we have started up the usual promise workflows, but we've also started up that ski exporter. So if I cancel out of here, we will see in a second when I refresh that the exporter is now visible inside the data sources. This does all sorts of magic, including adding to the catalog the type, adding to the builder the blueprint here with its different fields that are available, and even better, adding to the self-service tab a create, an update, and a delete action. And these have all been configured to work out of the box, unlike the kind of default exporter by Port, where you need to come in and update it to have the right backend. So this has been updated to have a backend of GitHub Actions in this case, but this would all be configurable. So we've got some actions over here in Git that we'll see running in a second. So in this case, if I want to create Redis here and I want to make it a Port Redis, and I want that Redis to be 12 gigabytes, I get that feedback. Nope, that's not how that works. It's small or large. So I'm going to do a small Redis. So I can execute that request, and that will trigger a workflow to run on the back end in the GitHub action here on the top right. So let me refresh GitHub here. There it goes. So now we've got that running. This is going to run and check that information and it result in a commit to the Git repository. Here we can now see a just now file that's been committed directly, though it can create a PR instead, for a Redis request, which has in the bottom corner here resulted in a Redis promise being requested named Port, and we can see that being completed. So this is working just like any other promise in Kratix, but being done via the UI. And so now with that having been created, we can go into the catalog, we can see that Port Redis, we can see information about it, and we can even run actions against it, including, for example, update. So it turns out I don't want it to be small anymore because it's been a huge success, this application. So I can execute an update to make that large. That will in turn run another action. That action will update that file, that request. So let's give that a second for the action to complete. That's still on the create. And just now that's been updated as a day 2 resource and is now large, which will again kick off a workflow within Kratix. So the really powerful thing about this is that you can codify in your API the information that is made visible in port here, and it can be done in a declarative way and a versioned way rather than going through API commands or UI controls in the port UI, enabling you to manage your APIs while also seeing the power of providing a great interface to your app developers. This product right now is in alpha, so if you have any more questions about it or are interested in getting hands-on, just reach out. Happy to help. We have a Slack organization that you can join if you go to kratix.io, or really reach out in anywhere else that you can find us. Thanks so much.